Yay. Well,
Finally.
yay, yay. Well, welcome to our lives, Manisha. You've missed out on all the fun we've been having, so we couldn't wait
Yeah.
one more second. It,
Yes, I did miss out on a lot, but I'm glad that I could quickly catch up on it. And I'm so glad to be back here.
oh, yay. Okay, well, I'm dying to introduce you to everyone. So Manisha, there is no way to tell you how unbelievably lucky we got. I think Kelly always says the quote that, when you're starting a new business, there's intelligence, there's teamwork, there's all these things, but there's a lot of luck. And I think when it comes to you, you are our lucky charm. But
Thank
here's
you so much.
Manisha. She'll give you her background, but I will brag a little because she probably won't. But Manisha has spent years and years, decades, in fact, in research and innovation at companies like Johnson and Johnson and Unilever and Colgate-Palmolive. Pretty much, if it's in your house, like open up your cleaning closet, open up your beauty, health, and wellness closet, and you will find products that Manisha had a hand in. She has more than 50 invention records and 6 patents in nutrition, oral health, and skincare. She is an expert. And we found you at exactly the right time. So, share a little bit about, I'd love for you to talk a little and just share a little bit about kind of what you were doing at the time that you got the call or the introduction from our mutual friend who we worked with at a previous company. What were you doing and why did this sound like something that you should get into or want to even talk to us?
Sure. Thank you for the great introduction. You actually covered up everything, but let me just introduce myself. So, Anita already mentioned I have almost about 18 years of experience in research and innovation. I have worked for major MNCs, and yes, I have touched upon every kind of product that you are using in your household, be it from nutrition to home care, personal care, hair care, everything. I have touched upon that. And when I met with Anita at the same time, I had just delivered my first baby at that point in time. I was going through postpartum and I'm like, okay, something is not right. I was taking all the prenatals and everything, and it was not right to me. So I was any which ways planning to, something from my experience and knowledge, what I can do for myself. And at the same time, I was working with one of our colleagues who we both know, and we really like working with him. And I'm partnering with him for another thing, which I feel that it is very safe, and it's a totally different model of tattoos. So tattoos and nutrition, everything is, interlinked when you're talking
It's the
about,
whole
because
spectrum.
everything goes inside in the system. Yes, exactly. So he introduced me to Anita and Kelly, and from then, the moment I spoke with them, I was like, okay, I am in 100%. The best part was the challenge, because we were trying to work on something which we were struggling with ourselves, and it was, as a consumer first, we wanted to have something that can benefit us systemically, and that's where we started. And it was not about, let's have something just for the sake of it. It was a supplement that will actually benefit you. It will give you that deep cellular nourishment that your body basically is craving for. And the best part was, Kelly and Anita had given me the free hand, a formulator's dream, that you do give us just the best product. Don't think about cost, supply chain, yes, because we'll have to figure that thing out, but just don't think about cost. And this is the best that I could formulate, which is out there, and I'm personally taking it throughout my journey. I just delivered my second baby, and I'm again into the postpartum phase again. And you can see I'm just smiling and I'm able to function. That's the basic thing.
Yeah, when you have 2 kids under the age of 3, just being able to smile and function is kind of a minimum viable product. Like that's actually like massive success, that you're awake and you can smile and joke around. And actually, it's very quiet at your house right now, so someone else.
Oh no, I'm sneaking around. I am at a corner where my toddler can't find me, literally. I was debating whether to take the call from the car or sneak around in a corner that she's still not aware of, because now she's at that age that she can turn the knob, she can get into the study. So I'm not in my study You can see that.
So you're hiding in like a closet somewhere. Okay, that's perfect. And if you're a mom at any point, you can relate. So, okay, so you, as you said, we really were, we were like, let's just think outside the box, right? We want to create a product that can truly support us where we are, and with the fundamental nutrition that we're no longer getting through diet alone in America. And so we came to you. And so Kelly often tells the story, if you've heard him tell it. He had the formula. So he had done all the research. He knew the nutrients that we wanted, and he believed he understood the amount that we needed of each nutrient on a daily basis. And he basically, it was the equivalent of going to the grocery store and picking up all the ingredients, coming home and throwing it all in a pot, mixing it up and being like, here's dinner. And we were all like, oh great, and we tried it and it was horrible. And that's the point that we were like, I think we need like an actual scientist to help us with this. So you came in and we said no constraints, we want this to work. So tell us a little bit about some of the things that were really important to you when putting this formula together.
Yes, so I think Kelly did a lot of work, a lot of background work was already done, so which was really helpful to me. And yes, when we speak about those ingredients, the vitamins and minerals, they are available in different forms and formats, you know. We can all like cook it together, take it in, but will the body absorb it? There is a term known as bioavailability. That means whatever we are taking, it goes through your blood. If it is in your blood, then blood transports all the oxygen, nutrients, everything to your cells. And cells are our base. That's our basic thing, right? And we want the nourishment to be going to the cells. So what majority of the times happens is, you know, the form of the supplement that you are taking, probably your body is not able to absorb. For example, magnesium is they're present in magnesium oxide form, glycinate form, amino acid chelate forms. There are multiple forms, even gluconates. Now, which is the best one that your body can immediately absorb? Magnesium oxide, if you put it, it's like 96% is just going out in the waste. So, did your body absorb anything? Did you get the entire benefit? No, it was there in the supplement, but it was of no use. It's better that you didn't take it, right? So that's where we actually started. When I got the entire list from Kelly, it definitely gave me a base to start from. And then I started to look into which is the type and format of it that I need to look into. And then from there, we started the work. And I'm glad that the first formula, actually, we nailed it, which is again also a very big thing because
Yeah.
it's very difficult to nail it for the first time. We are like, okay, everything is feeling right, maybe we can tweak it a little bit just because we want to, but it was actually right. We were feeling really good after taking it.
Yeah. And you have your own postpartum story. I mean, you said it quickly, but you had some complications. And so do you want to share that little mini testimonial?
Yes, multiple complications. I went through the MRI machine. I hope nobody has to go through that, but I did. I had to. There were complications that happened basically with the epidural. And postpartum depression is common. The extent of it depends to person. I won't say that it was too much for me, but yes, with the workload, with first time being mom, handling a new life, which you never get a training of, and it's totally different. So yeah, it was very chaotic. Mental fog, stress, everything that you talk about was on a different level altogether. The best part that happened when I was formulating these products, because I was my own guinea pig, so I was trying it on me. And if I am not convinced, how can I convince anyone else that, you know, this is the best product? I realized I could just work for longer hours. I had so much energy, and I was discussing it with my husband. What have I changed in my daily routine? Because formulating was a regular time job for me, so you never think of it like that. And he pointed it out, you are taking supplements on a daily level, so that's what changed. And not just any supplement, the supplement which has the right nutrients. I'm like, okay, yes. And I can see, you know, I can smile, I can laugh, which is so not common in a postpartum mom. I'm still postpartum, I'm laughing, I am juggling work, I'm managing a toddler and newborn, and I'm happy as much as I can be. So I'm like, okay, wow, the supplement really works.
Oh, that's sweet. Yes. And I remember you talking about, I mean, I don't, obviously we're not making any claims or anything like that on this call. But I remember you talking about the epidural pain and that, you would go for a walk in a park and you would have to stop at every bench. And then suddenly you were actually able to make it around the block. And that was one of the differences that you felt, which is the miracle of nutrition. Most of us kind of jump straight to the medicine. If your back hurts, you're taking something over the counter in the pharmacy section. You're not thinking that you need more nutrition, so that was like a fun story. So here's like the fun part about this moment is that we're going to go from postpartum to perimenopause, which if there's not another swing in a woman's life, like it's this swing that we all go through. And by the way, just like postpartum, nobody told us anything about this. And honestly, even 5 years ago, I feel like it wasn't really, it was a non-topic. Like it was just, this is what it happens to you. I feel this way about dementia right now too. It's like there are these things, syndromes, things, diagnosable states of mind that are states of your body that you get to. And most of us just walk around thinking that that's part of life. It's just what happens, and whatever comes with that thing is how you are, that there's no way to prevent it or try to minimize the feeling or the symptoms that you're feeling. But we're learning more and more that menopause is something that, and it's getting a lot of attention. It's something that people are starting to finally talk about more openly. And nutrition can play a really important role. I mean, it's not going to replace estrogen, but it can play an important role. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Yes, so rightly mentioned, nutrient can definitely not replace estrogen. It's a very important hormone that we have in our body. And as you also mentioned, menopause, it's a major topic because estrogen level just dips down. But what these functional nutrients that we are having over here can do is, support in making the estrogen, that hormone in the body. Or as I mentioned, that we are talking about cell and cellular nutrition. Every cell has a receptor. So in this case, there is this estrogen receptor. This can be supported by the nutrients so that if the receptor is functioning properly, it can take the estrogen which is out there inside the cells, and then the cell can function properly. Or the nutrients basically help your cellular membrane. There is no point in keeping the nutrients outside the cells, then it is just not working. It has to go inside. So all these things are delivered through these functional ingredients that are there. So when you are giving the body these nutrients, your cell are getting these nutrients, definitely the estrogen dip will be there, but your body will be able to function in a much better way.
Yeah. So basically, what you're saying is even though your estrogen levels are going down, the nutrition at the cellular level can at least support your cells from being as available as they possibly can be for the estrogen that's remaining in
Yes,
your system.
exactly. Yes.
Or if you're getting hormone
It will also
replacement
support,
therapy.
yes, exactly. Or it will also support production of the estrogen. It will not dip very drastically.
Yeah, which I guess is a thing. So people talk about kind of having like a light switch, and suddenly I went from sleeping through the night to not sleeping through the night.
Yeah.
So there are these, different symptoms that you go through. And when we did our research, most menopause support list about 13 protocols, nutritional priorities. I should put it that way, nutritional priorities, because it's not that your nutrition needs change in terms of what you need. It's that your body sometimes focuses more on certain nutrients that it needs more than others. And so when we look at Brighter Days can actually check the box out of on 10 out of 13 of those nutritional priorities. But we left out a couple. So we left out calcium, we left out protein, and we left out K2. And I think that's important. I mean, not just for menopause, but I think it's important to just even talk about that for everything, because there are a lot of all in one green drinks and supplements that boast we have 97 nutrients and all these things, and we only have 17. um, and we're not checking all the menopause boxes. So what's your comment to that? Like, why wouldn't we include calcium or protein or K2 into brighter days?
Yeah, so protein, I would say, is the best source for protein comes from the food. There is no point, in adding it through supplements. The best nutrition that you can get is basically from food. That's why we just kept it away. Calcium and K2, again, it's such a broad range. It just depends upon person to person. We didn't want to either overload or just sprinkle it around and say that, oh, we have, calcium or K2 in our product. That would be very wrong. Every human's need is different. It is better that if you actually are deficient into that, you either get it from your food or you go into a specific supplement for that one. That's the very reason that we left it out. You mentioned about 97 ingredients. We could also go ahead and add 97, but is it going to do any benefit or give any benefit to your body? We can also sprinkle it around and say that, oh, we have it, but that is not how we want it to work, right? We wanted to have the ingredients which synergistically work together for your body. And that's the reason why I specifically selected these 17 ingredients that your body needs. It's about your body's everyday's need that we are talking about here. So, we want deep cellular nourishment on every day so that you can function. And the other things, definitely, there are food sources that we would definitely mention that you should be going ahead over there.
Yeah. And I mean, the good news is, I mean, we're all on Instagram. On my Instagram feed all day long, I'm getting recommendations of how to like protein load the food that I'm already eating, like swap in cottage cheese and you've added X amount of protein. So there are ways to achieve those objectives, which are a little daunting, especially in menopause where they're telling you 50 grams, and it feels very daunting when you're so limited, and we're living real life over here. Like you've got two kids, I've got a million things to do. So it's like I don't have time to spend my entire time figuring out how I'm going to get 50 grams. But our philosophy is one scoop, 1 minute, once a day. And at least you can check the box on 10 out of the 13 nutritional priorities for something like menopause. So here's my last question for you. So many women, I mean, we are not the same age. You are at least a decade younger than me, but more than a decade. But women between
I'm
your
not
age
that
and
young though. Anyways, go ahead.
women between your age and my age are already taking a lot of products. They've already been influenced. They have a whole cabinet full of stuff that they're either taking or they just have and know they should be taking. But either way, they are doing a lot for their health and they feel good about it. So, what is it? What would you say to someone that was like, okay, but I'm already taking a bunch of things. Why should I try Brighter Days?
First thing that yes, you are checking the box that you are taking it, but what you are taking, do you know that? No, right?
No.
And yeah, exactly. They mentioned that, as I mentioned earlier, that they will mention that yes, we have magnesium, so your body is getting the magnesium. That's what is in the supplement, but your body is not getting that, unfortunately. That's why if you see the ingredients that we have specifically chosen, like majority of our compounds, the most expensive one, which is the amino acid chelate. Basically what it does is your cells understand, oh, amino acid, that's the building block of protein. I know these guys. So mineral and vitamin that we are adding, they just go along with it into the cell. That's what we are doing here. We are not just talking about that, this supplement contains this supplement definitely contains that, but your body will be able to absorb it. So yes, women are understanding that our bodies needs. We are prioritizing ourselves as well now. Initially it used to be our kids, our family, our husband, and then last one were us. But if we want our family to function properly, we have to function properly first. So we need to give ourselves nutrition and nourishment, but what kind of nourishment we are giving, that is very important. So just checking the box from that, okay, I'm taking a prenatal or I'm taking a vitamin supplement, is not right. We have to check the box with the right things that we are doing for our body. And that's why Brighter Days makes a difference, because we have carefully selected those ingredients and the formats which basically your body will be able to absorb.
Awesome. Okay, so yay. We have a question from the audience, Manisha, and I will read it to
Yes.
you. Are there natural supplements such as black cohosh, never heard of, but this is what I'm saying, I never know anything, that could complement Brighter Days to ease perimenopause symptoms, specifically hot flashes?
So there are a lot of phytoestrogens that are available, and that is, I talked about estrogen receptors, and it basically mimics. And what it does is your receptors will think that it is the compound similar to estrogen, and it will absorb that. However, a lot of study is not done on this. Clinicals is something that has to be done, and if even if it is done, there are very few clinicals that you will find. The ingredients that we have selected are basically like 50 years of clinicals have happened on those things. We specifically didn't go ahead into phytoestrogens or adaptogens in our formula because from the safety aspect, if it is not studied widely, then we do not have the exact answer to that. That's the only reason why we didn't add it.
Okay, so I'm to understand that black cohosh would be considered a
Kind of a phytoestrogen, yes. There are
phytoestrogen.
there are a lot of that, like black cohosh is there. Then there is shatavari, which is also a very common ingredient that people do believe in, and it has been recommended in different traditional medicines. But then again, as I mentioned, scientifically, very less clinicals are published on that, and that's the very reason why we stayed away from that.
Yeah. So just like adaptogens, because a lot of people are very into mushrooms and adaptogens, and so our answer is possibly. I mean, it won't interfere as far
It
as
was
we
fair.
know. It won't interfere. So if it's working for you, you could definitely take it alongside Brighter Days. But the explanation of why we don't include it is a little bit around the fidelity of our formulation. That we just, if we were going to recommend it, there would need to be substantial scientific documentation that they've actually done the test, as opposed to just sort of being anecdotal. And for me personally, as I did work in the cannabis, CBD, THC world, um, I know that it was a really hard place to be, because even though there were factual, maybe not like deep studies on it, but the studies that were done were very positive for anti-inflammation and a number of benefits. The reality was also the sourcing. Like, we didn't know where it was coming from. Was it actually coming from a plant? Was it being made in a lab? And those differences made a difference in the result. And so that's the other risk of taking things that aren't clinically studied, is you don't really know where it came from unless you know, and then go for it. But that's why we didn't include it in Brighter
And then
Days.
again, how was it processed? What is the exact percentage of the key components into that? So those things, a deeper study is needed. I'm not saying that they don't work. They definitely have some studies that showcases that it works, but it's not that it has been studied for like 50 or 100 years, and that's the basic reason why we didn't go ahead with that. Our ingredients synergistically work, and it doesn't interfere with anything. That's the best part of having vitamins, minerals, omega 3s that your body basically needs.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, Manisha, any last thoughts, or is anyone knocking on the door wondering where mommy is, or are they getting ready for bed?
Luckily, no. I am in my safe place. I think that this is the place that I should make my temporary study till the time they don't grow up. So yeah,
That's so funny. Well, we appreciate you finding your safe place, and letting us all in. This will not be the last time you are on this call, but so appreciate you being on here for the first time.
thank you so much.
And thanks everyone for joining. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.